Hello, hello, everyone. It's another Monday. I'm excited to be here with all of you. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. If you could do me a big favor, please hit that like button. It really helps. And just like last week and the week before, the guys are literally right outside these windows. I really think they just like to listen. I think they get together and say, Mondays, it's Mix It Up Mondays. We got to go listen and find out what's going on with Pete. But here we are. So, with that being said, let's start the show. Hi, everyone. If you don't know what this is all about and it's your first time tuning in, neither do we. This is Mix It Up Mondays. It came from a bunch of people who watch the channel saying, hey, can you do something consistent? And because my schedule is ever changing, there's a lot of other great channels out there that can do certain days or times in the parks. I, unfortunately, cannot. I still try to get to at least, 3, maybe even more videos a week, if you include shorts, more than that. I was just looking at some stats, which I'll share with you in a little bit, but we've been putting out a lot of content, and I hope you've been enjoying it. If you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing, get that bell on, and hit all notifications. Only 5% of you have the bell. I think, what is it? Let's see. And this is not me asking. I think it's more fun to find out. But anyway, it doesn't even matter. I love if you could, get that bell on, hit all notifications, so we don't miss any of our fun stuff in our live streams. We do really have a blast here, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, what is this show all about? We still don't know. We're 5 weeks in, but we've been having fun. We do have some guests lined up coming up in the future weeks. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But for today is the actual anniversary of Disney's 100 years in business. That's right, 100 years ago today is when it all started. Now, as Walt says, that's no matter what, let's never forget. It was all started with a mouse, and it's pretty remarkable. And there's a lot to discuss. My original idea for today's show is, besides catching up, saying hi, giving you a look back at the last week and a look ahead at the next week, kind of a look ahead at the next 3 months, but then also a much broader picture. Where will we be in 2 years from now? And then where will we be in 5 years from now? And not just at Disney, because I think this plays a really big role, is across all of Orlando, is where will Disney fit and where will the other theme parks and up-and-coming attractions fit in the grand scheme of things and everything that's going on in Orlando. Orlando is having a ton of work done, as you can see from the noise you'll hear outside my window, but all over the place. The state of Universal, if you think about it, in just 3, 4, 5 years from now, Universal will have their new theme park and hotels up and running. SeaWorld has been expanding, really trying to get away from that whole animal aspect of taking animals out of the wild, but only keeping the animals that have been born there and staying there. They've made a pledge not to bring new animals in. But another thing they've done is they've really focused on turning their theme park into kind of the quintessential coaster park. They have the biggest, the tallest, the fastest roller coasters. I can see it going there. They also brought in Sesame Place to keep it family friendly. They've been doing a lot of festivals. They brought in Hallow Scream. And then other fun amusements that have just opened up are some of the smaller attractions like the Gatorland, the Legoland, the Peppa Pig. How's the Space Coast doing, which is about an hour from here? How's Busch Gardens doing, which is about an hour away from here? And more attractions just keep opening up. These fun little entertainment zones like Icon Park, right in between, sandwiched right between SeaWorld, Disney, Universal, a fun place where there's some attractions, but a lot of restaurants, a lot of, that's where the big eye is, or that giant Ferris wheel, if you will. So you have these little entertainment districts popping up, as well as monster complexes, which are kind of like, you could stay on vacation just there if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to go to the theme parks, like the Margaritaville, which opened a few years ago up the road and is still expanding as well. So there's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. It's kind of something that last night as I got home from work late last night, I was laying down for a little bit just thinking, excuse me, I have to remember to breathe. There it is. I was laying down late last night and what should we talk about? And I knew it was Disney 100, and I was going to try and do a whole history, but I figure all those other channels out there will give you a history. And if you're a big Disney fan already, you might know a lot of it. And if you don't, I'd be happy to talk about that one day. But I thought it would be fun just to discuss what's going on all around the Orlando area. And it was reinforced that this was a good idea. I got to give a shout out to the channel Mickey Views. If you don't know Braden over there, it's becoming one of my favorite YouTube channels. I mean, I've watched them from time to time, but as you can imagine, before moving down here and before getting into the whole, let's say, media side of Disney, because that started for me back in New York. I actually started with WDWNT back when I was still living in New York. I had an annual pass for Disney, but we would fly down 3, 4, 5 times a year for quick little 2-3 day trips. But I would keep up with all the Disney news as I had all my, I had other commitments in New York and jobs. And I would stay really on top of my game with news and everything else. It's funny because once you move down here, and I noticed this in other people too, I was like, do they not know? Like I used to watch other vloggers and streamers. And again, this is going back 6, 7 years. But I was like, how do they not know the breaking news every single day? And it's funny because once you're down here, like once you're in the parks, you're like, oh, I'll see the news or I'm around the news. But I think you crave it more, right? It's almost like the grass is greener, but maybe, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, when I was away and I was, traveling for work a lot, I was checking the Disney news like every day. I could tell you anything that was happening at Disney or Universal and everything else. But I don't want to lose track of that. And also, it's been a crazy year for me. We've talked about that a bunch. But I really have just started going through the parks a little bit slower. Maybe not, you might have seen it on the live streams, right? When we're live, I want to show you as many things as I can, as fast as I can, or I want to keep things exciting or show you the newest thing or who's performing that day, or let's get a little update here. But I really never want to lose, or move away from the reason why I love living where I live now, which is, right near the theme parks. For those who don't know, I live 10 to 15 minutes or 10 to 20 minutes, depending on which Disney theme park I'm going to. So I just tell everyone basically I'm 15 minutes from Disney, I'm 20 minutes from Universal, and I'm 25 minutes, I'm 25 from Universal, 20 from SeaWorld, and at max 15, 20 to Disney. So it's really nice that I'm in this less than at 25 minutes, I can be in any of the major theme parks. And it's really amazing. I never want to lose touch with that. So I started, just wanting to fall back into the old me that just fell in love with all this. Going back to Braden, another thing, we're going to go on a lot of tangents if you've never seen me. But don't worry, I always double back. I keep a notepad right here. I have notepads from last week. But he put out a video and it was an hour and a half. I didn't even finish it yet. I just watched some of it. I was skipping around while I was cleaning the house, getting some work done. I also was out doing some stuff this morning, came back. So I just kind of listening to it. I may have missed things. But he really talked about, some of the changes that are going on. It really lent itself to the idea I already had about talking about where will all the parks be in a few years. He was doing, one of the things he covered was kind of some of the new resorts going up around Disney and how they're leaning towards that mainstream, right? Where like they're almost, we're calling it, some of us locals or people around here are like almost un-Disneying or un-Disneyfying hotels, and they're putting up more of these, what they're calling modern takes on these resorts. But it's what we loved about Disney was that originality, that attention to detail, that thought that went into every single minute detail at every resort, every theme park, every attraction, every walkway. Was just so well thought out. And, now Disney's bringing in these other companies that are from the outside. I know there's a Vegas-based company and some other ones who, they do make beautiful resorts. It just feels very run-of-the-mill, nice resort-ish, if you've ever stayed in any resort. And Disney, while you're paying all that money, is you want to feel like you're inside that bubble. Now, granted, there are perks like the transportation, the ease to get to the parks, not needing a rental car, and just staying inside of that magic bubble, if you will. But now that the resorts are kind of going towards the direction of very beautiful, but kind of looking like a really nice Marriott or, whatever nice hotel you stay in, you could just stay off property for half the price. And that's kind of what Lauren and I did before we moved down here the last few trips, is that we would just either rent a car or just factor in a price for Ubers and just say, we could stay off property for $100 in a beautiful hotel that's 12 minutes from Disney. Or we could stay on Disney property and it just is a nice hotel. But even though it's not as the magic's gone, we'd be paying $300, $400, $500 a night. And is that worth it? Even if we're coming for 2-3 nights, that's a savings of $400. You can get all your Ubers and you can get a lot of extra food and drink or perks or tours on Disney for that money. So, Disney's probably going to end up getting it anyway, but I wanted to get all that as well. I do want to discuss the Disney 100. I do want to discuss all of the parks and kind of what's going on, and also the small future. I want to just talk to all of you about some of the things that are coming up over the next 3 months. This is a very, very busy time in all the theme parks, and also as kind of someone now who I guess I could say I cover the theme parks, and not from a news way, but I celebrate them by going to them and taking all of you along live and it is my biggest draw here on the channel. So I guess I have to come to terms with, hey, that's my niche, right? At some point, you gotta be like, this is what the people want. And the live streams at Disney and the other theme parks do exceptionally well here. Thanks to all of you, so thank you. But let's talk about the rest of the Halloween season. Let's talk about how we're gonna get into the holiday season. Some of the changes going on in all of the parks, what's gonna be opening, what's gonna be closing, some of the things to look forward to, and then also looking into the spring, because I know a lot of you are now in the either showing up and coming down in the next few months if you're part of that holiday crowd, or planning your trip for 2024, which is crazy to think about, right? Because it's only October 16th. But really, we're knocking on next year already, which is insane. And I hate to be the one to rush. I'm not like that at all. But I do like to be well informed, and I'm a planner. When I plan vacations for people, or when I plan vacations for my friends and family, or even when Lauren and I used to come down, I love an itinerary. I love knowing everything, this or that, allowing time for this. But really, oh my God. It was on 72. Could you believe that? 72? Not for me during the day. Papa likes it at a nice 68. It's very funny. Lauren and I, a lot of you, if you watch the channel before, know who Lauren is, my other half. We are complete opposites with the temperature. She thinks it's freezing during the day. When I like to have it, I do up it a little bit for her when she's home. I'll put it on like 69, 70. Unless I'm cooking, then it goes right back down to 68 because you got the oven and the stove on. But at night, I don't mind it at like 70, 71. Still cold enough where I could like put a sheet over me, but I could just sleep and be comfortable. She is the opposite. She likes it on like 67, 68 at night. She's a heater and I freeze. But then during the day, when the sun is out, she wants it on like 72. It's insane. It's crazy. But if you're in a relationship, I'm sure you go through something similar in some other respect. And if you're not, you get to pick whatever temperature you want. What a life. What a life. And of course, I'm teasing. I'm having a good time. I am very happy. And let's get into some chat. What do we got going on right now? I got to say hi to a bunch of people. Oh, we have to talk about last week. I really appreciate you being here with me and spending your Monday with me, whether you're sitting at home, at work, in the car, just listening to this and not seeing the big red face. Thanks for being here. We're trying, like I said, this is just a big experiment to see what happens. I know everyone likes me in the theme parks, and that's normally where we'd be. As a matter of fact, the last few Mondays, we've done 3 streams on Mondays because we've done this. Then we do a Patreon stream immediately following this. Thanks to all the Patreons. I'll give you a shout out in a minute. And if you want to learn more about being a Patreon, go check out patreon.com/Adventures by Carney, or just go search it. You get a bunch of bonus content. You get access to me, including our Monday calls, our monthly Zoom calls, which we had a great one last week, and a bunch of other bonus stuff too, as much as I can do. I really just am so grateful. And there wouldn't be, I really don't think there'd be an Adventure by Carney without the Patreon. So thank you to all the Patreons. And if you're not a Patreon, you should thank a Patreon. I was gonna go somewhere with that. Really good putting this on a Monday, right? When I DJ every Sunday night and it's just a case of the Mondays. That's fun. Anyway, let's just talk some chat. Let's go into the chat, see what's going on. What do we got going on here? Oh, I should probably like my own video, right? It's a good idea. Oh boy. I also forgot, I don't really wake up. So this whole construction thing, let me just talk to you about it a little bit. I have to write a strongly worded email because, and I talk about this every week, it's just part of my routine, and I've been off now for almost a month, where I like to go outside, go on my balcony, watch the sunrise, reset. That's normally like I have a routine. Like that's when I would take like my vitamins and any other supplements, and then kick off the day, do some gratitude, deep breaths, come up with a game plan sort of kind of for the day, factoring in all the new craziness, and then go. And now that I have no balcony, because we have no access to our own balconies anymore because they're also painting the balconies, so they've cut our screens open, the guy's crawling from the outside, and they've been taping, painting, priming. They haven't even started painting. They're just primed the walls the other day. They haven't done the ceiling yet. It's a disaster, but it's thrown me off. Like even today, like I ran out this morning for work. I woke up at 6. I think I went to bed around 1ish, and I ran out the door for work. Came back. I'm like, oh yeah, I just don't feel like I'm all like there. And I know what you're thinking. I'm never really all the way there, but yeah, just like right before the show, I was like, oh, and I forgot to get a smoothie. So like I was like, all right, let me make a quick smoothie at home, which is fine too. So I promise my brain is turning on slowly. I also just been, using my voice a lot. I worked a bunch of events this weekend. So really what I get paid for down here most of the time is just talking on a microphone. And it's the best job ever. I really do love it. And it was, I worked a lot of, some really awesome events. And also we did a live stream Saturday night because unfortunately I had, something, it wasn't involving me, but thank you for all the well wishes. We had to postpone our Friday night stream to Saturday because somebody needed me and there was no one else that could help. So if it was any of you, I would have done the same thing. But thank you for understanding what was going on Friday night. So we pushed it to Saturday, which I normally don't stream in the parks on Saturday, but we wanted to show all of you Hoobastank since we teased it on Friday. If you missed the stream, go check it out. It was a quick one, just great to see it. Hoobastank was fun, a band that I got to see, growing up, and now that they're at Epcot, so that was cool. But yeah, so there's a lot of talking all weekend and not a lot of sleep. So Monday, today is, and then I was working this morning, came home. So I had a nice cup of tea. So for the throat, now I'm having a smoothie. So we're just throwing another curveball there. Let's see what's going on in this chat. If you could hit the like button, I totally forgot. The like button really helps. It does push people into the stream. Right now, I think we're at 35 likes, which is really cool. If you could, again, smash that like button, it does help. And if you're new, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. We have a ton of fun here. Go check out the channel after this. You can see some of the examples of our craziness and mayhem and other fun stuff coming up. Another thing I want to discuss today. We'll see how much time we have. Unfortunately, today I do have an appointment that I have to get to, because I've just been pushing them off ever since our meetup 2 weeks ago, and just pushing appointments back, so they're starting to get stacked up this week. But I do want to do some morning streams. We're going to have a lot of great streams this week, and I feel as though last night, even yesterday afternoon, I was driving to work, but last night driving home and laying in bed when I was thinking about this show, but also just Disney in general, is just doing the little things. I really just I don't miss it, right? I'm here. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. But I want to share with you more often those little moments. I also took time this weekend, whether I was in the car or just, cleaning, cooking, doing work, but in the background, putting on other streamers around Disney, just because I feel like I haven't done that in a while. Like, what is everyone else doing out there? What's fun? What's exciting? What are things that I really enjoy that I think that's a great thing, and I'll be happy to give those people a nod. And also sometimes you watch and you're like, ooh, I do that too, and that is not fun to watch. I should probably improve on that. But I did get to see a lot of new streamers I never knew existed. I got to watch some people who I haven't seen in years. I got to find new ones, see old ones, good, bad, and ugly. And also this morning I got to watch a little bit of the Mickey Views update that he did, and he did a great job. So again, if you go find Braden's channel, tell him I sent you, because I do want to work on him with something. I have an idea I gotta run by him, but that's neither here nor there. Let's catch up with some chat. Tomorrowland Traveler, my man Tomorrowland Traveler. I should say too, if you're ever looking to plan a Disney vacation or Universal or SeaWorld, and we're gonna talk a lot about the parks today, is you should use a travel agent. And I'm not saying that you have to use the Tomorrowland Traveler. He's a great guy, but we have 6, I think, amazing travel agents in our Discord, which I have to tell you all about the Discord in a little bit. I really love our Discord so much, and it's free and it's amazing. The link's down below. We'll talk more about it later. But whether you're using Daniel, the Tomorrowland Traveler, or not, you should use one or find one that you really like, that you're comfortable with. Try a few if you didn't have the best experience. But I'm telling you, they make your vacation so much easier. They do so much of the legwork, and the vacation price itself, and right now times are tough, will be the same or cheaper, right? But you'll also have someone in your corner, someone who does this all day long, where they're used to getting the questions that you might forget to be asking. So they can say, hey, don't forget to do this, or hey, you might want to pack this, or if I was you, I would park hop on this day because it's a slower day. Or, hey, have you checked out this crowd calendar? Do you look at crowd calendars? I would avoid this restaurant if you're really not sure where you want to eat, and I would go with this or this. It's the same price point, and the food is better. Like, this is a shorter walk. And they do the things that I do too. Like, I'm not a travel agent, but I help plan a lot of vacations for people. And they'll ask those important questions like, what's more important to you? Do you want to get a lot done in a short period of time? So let's put all these little things together. Like, all right, go here, then here, then here, then here. Or do you want to take your time? All right, let's do this ride and then go check out this restaurant and go over here. Do you want to pack stuff in the morning, in the afternoon, or you're a morning person, or you're a night person? But anyway, go use a travel agent. And if this is all overwhelming, then you definitely should be using a travel agent. I love Daniel, and you can go check him out. And he's got a great YouTube channel too at the Tomorrowlandtraveler.com. Daniel and Tori are both amazing. Tori also, like, even without, I think it was even before they even formed the travel agency, or it was like right around the same time, already we started putting together like pages of things to do in little areas. So like if you're staying in the Tampa area, like here's all these amazing attractions. If you're staying over here, here's some things to do. They're both fantastic, and I'm big fans of both of them. Anyway, what's up to Just Mousing Around? Long Island in the house. Well, not in the house. Another day of field work, but have fun out there. Nice, I love it. Hopefully, I mean, I hear Long Island, it only rains on the weekends now. But man, I've been watching and looking at the weather up there. I know it might seem chilly to some people, but I really miss autumn. Like, the 60, like last night driving home, it was like 68 degrees. Like, I was able to crack the car windows instead of the AC blasting. I run hot, as we already discussed. May not look hot. I mean, the face is red, but I'm just I'm hot-blooded, like the song. But we're finally starting to get that weather. Now that we don't have a balcony, or windows. I can't open a window or go on my balcony. This is going to be the theme. I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not whiny. But yeah, I'm missing that Long Island weather. Like the hoodie and shorts, pumpkin picking. I just saw amazing pictures of my nephew going pumpkin picking. It was magical. But yeah, I hope you're having fun out in the field. I love October in New York. That's where I grew up, for those who don't know. So yeah. Hi, Mary Jo. Hi, Jamie Philippone. Hi, Lynette. Dawn, Andrew C., Jordan Garrett, Peaches P., Mel, checking in from the West Coast. David Lung, C. Va, Co, my man. Hello, hello. Phenomenal Brandy's in the house. Mark Mueller's here. Bill D, the MVP. You know, he's the MVP of the merch, and just a great guy all around. Always asks the good questions, too, on our Zoom calls. He's like, you know, Pete, what about this? Have you tried? And it's great. For those who don't know, my father passed away earlier this year, but like it reminds me sometimes of that in a very sweet way. Because my father would always like ask me questions like, have you tried doing that? Like, have you tried a giveaway? Have you tried, like, you know, just throwing, and Bill's very similar in that respect. So it's very comforting and very sweet. And again, if you want to come jump on our Zoom calls, come join the Patreon program. Jamie says, yes, tell me where things will be when I'm much closer to moving down there. Absolutely. And again, I know you're coming down, Jamie, I think in January, February too, from around that time frame. I know it's in the new part of the year. Sorry, this brain's crazy. But yeah, I want to discuss not only down the road in several years from now, but also in the next few months. Hi, Shelby says, whoa, Magic Man collection. Yeah, these are mine. Lauren's are in the bedroom. Actually, I'm hiding the other row, but this technically is stacked up like this. And then there's the ones in boxes. This was the one thing that I got into. I have a very addictive personality, so if I would have been into pins, that's crazy. And I'm not saying you're crazy if you collect pins. Thank God I don't, because I would be broke. What's going on? Let's see what else we got in here. So Shelby is in here. Oh. Is my picture clear? It looks pretty clear. Yeah, so Dawn said we were just talking about SeaWorld. SeaWorld's really about conservation and species survival now, which I come in for. Yeah, they really had to make a turn. And I know there's some groups and people out there that are like, hey, it's all PR, it's all media. But you can see it around the parks too. They're really, really, really trying. And I think they have to be somewhat sincere about it, just for the strict point of like, you can't fool us now. Like, it's almost like the internet has created this. You can't just put out a PR campaign and then not back it up. There's too many of us that'll ask the questions, and the internet's powerful. Where we find out you're lying, you will not get the audience you want. So I think they are really trying to turn it around. Obviously, they did some really bad things, but I think it's a very fun theme park. And also, the nice thing about SeaWorld, and we'll talk more about this later, is that it's a great affordable option for a lot of families. Universal and Disney have gotten extremely expensive. I mean, I again, really try to never forget how lucky I am that I could just walk into a theme park and have a great time. Granted, I pay for an annual pass. But for people coming out of state, the prices for hotels, food, I mean, Disney just had their price hikes recently. In the last week, everything went up, including annual passes and tickets and food and beverage and convenience things around the parks. It's so expensive. But the nice about SeaWorld is it's pretty affordable. It feels like you could take a family there at any time, and there's always Groupons, there's always specials, and they do a lot. Like if you're a teacher here in Florida, you get free admission, which is amazing because Lauren's a teacher, so she doesn't have to buy an annual pass. She can just go into the park whenever she wants, which is so awesome that they do that. So again, I'm not trying to be, Mr. Pro SeaWorld here. I'm just saying it's nice that that option is out there because not everyone can be like, let's go take my family of 4 to a theme park even though I don't have an annual pass, or even buying annual passes. I mean, for Disney, you're paying $1,000 a person most of the time for an annual pass. I know there's ones that are cheaper, but that's if you want to add on the water parks or add on pictures, that's an extra 100. That's an extra 100. It adds up quick. And then when you're in the parks, the food and the drink, as we discussed, are out of control. But we'll talk more about that later. Brandy says, yeah, I know how you feel. Disney's about to lose some big market share when Epic opens. Yeah, so Epic Universe is going to be that new park for Universal. And that new theme park, Epic Universe, is going to be bigger than their 2 parks now combined. And they've really made some super cool moves in that, Universal. And we talked last week about how their team members have really gotten so much better, where now Disney cast members have to almost catch up. And Disney was the standard. And we're going to talk about this later with resorts and rides and attractions, where everybody was trying to match Disney, and now it feels like Disney is just trying to do things as economically as possible, and now other places are maybe even surpassing them in that regard, which is, and in the creativity side of things, on the creative side. So we'll get into that. But yeah, I think once Epic Universe opens, those hotels, I drive by it all the time. It looks crazy, and they've made so much progress. Like, it's wild that they've made just as much progress in this entire theme park as Disney's made. I mean, think about Epcot, right? In the middle. What are they even doing, right? They opened Moana, but now that all that's left is like some planters, a small fountain, some trees, a statue of Walt, which is already done. It's been done. It was on display like a year ago. That area has been under construction for 5 years. 5 years. You know how easy it is to build a building? And now I know Disney's got to do everything according to code, to the T, and if anything, higher than expectations, because people are going to come after them. Even now their own committee, now that the Reedy Creek has kind of been dissolved and you have the DeSantis, I don't know what it's called, but terrorism board, whatever you want to call it, but the people who are going to try to ruin Disney theme parks and add more red tape. But Disney already does a lot of that higher than the state standard as it is, and that's something that we have to keep in mind. That's why their construction projects take so long, is they're underneath a ridiculous microscope, and I feel bad for Disney in that regard, but they've done great for 50 years here in Orlando and 100 years as a company. And I think even though we've seen them cut some corners here and there, I don't think they'd ever take a chance on safety. You just need one bad thing to happen and they are all over the news. I mean, even when things almost bad happen, they make national news. The wedgie incident made national news. People Magazine, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. So, but I mean, some of these projects, right? Like, how long is Epcot? 5 years, Epcot? Really? And then that wasn't even including the Spaceship Earth refurbishment you wanted to do. They built the original Spaceship Earth, the giant ball, the golf ball, the symbol of Epcot. That whole ride from scratch took 2 years to build. When they said they wanted to go into refurbishment, they said it would take over 2.5 years. Just to fix it up was going to take longer than to build it from scratch. And then this portion of the construction didn't even include that. And it's been rough. It's been a lot. We're seeing Splash Mountain 2 is getting there, but that has taken so much time to make that transition over to Tiana's new flume ride. But wow. Anyway, this is just me getting through the comments. Maybe the whole show will just be me going on tangents during the comments. Brady says Peppa Pig theme park for life. I do have to go do that. I think that would be fun. I've never done that. I've never done the Crayola Park down here. I've never done Legoland. John Thorne sent me something in the Discord. Go join the Discord if you haven't, because we do have a suggestion page, channels on there for live streams or edited videos. But apparently there's a, like Tankland is here in Orlando, which I didn't even know was existed. You could drive tanks, go over cars, go into ditches, blow some stuff up. It's a little pricey, so we're looking into contacting them to see if they want to help us out. But we're going to be doing a lot of other fun stuff and kind of venturing out. That's why I kept the channel Adventures by Carney and not just like Mr. Disney or Mr. Universal. And there's nothing wrong with those names because a lot of our channel is Disney and Universal. But I like all the other adventures. I like the road trips. I like going to different parts of the countries, different attractions. As somebody who has ADHD, and as you can see from watching this, his brain is all over the place. I like that with my YouTube channel and my adventures as well. So we're going to be making a lot of moves. We're just trying to, one, a lot of things cost money, and it's been a crazy year. And the economy, I know everybody out there is feeling it. But we're going to try to get creative with some of these things. And we have some very exciting things coming up. And some places have been very awesome and generous. And I'll be happy to give them credit. I still will be honest with you about places. Again, I don't want to be one of those people that if they send me for free, I'm just like, everything was awesome. The other day, where were we? We got something comped. And I said, like, listen, AB, what I like to do is compliment sandwich people. Really, really nice thing. Tell them tell them some of the things that could be worked on, and then finish with another really nice thing. And that's what we did. We were like, listen, the service is unbelievable. We like this, and this. However, this, and this we thought could be a little bit better or improved upon if we really want our honest feedback. And also, though, we really, really loved this, and this would be our reason for coming back in the future. So you'll see some of that in some upcoming things we've recorded and whatnot. But yeah, so if you're ever worried about me not being honest with you, I will be 100% honest. And if you know any places that want to have us, I know there's some places that already said come by anytime, and I'm just waiting for the right time or team. Another nice part about growing, but it's, I guess, a growing pain of the channel is for me to go do these things is I need a camera person, someone there who at least can handle it, knows kind of what to look for, what to do, what to film, how to film, and also who's been willing to do all this. And I also don't have the large funds of, let me go pay all these camera people, and then also editing all of it. I tried a new video last week. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. But this week in Disney history, I think we might revamp it a little bit, but it's just an idea we wanted to try and a little feeler to put out there to see if it was something everyone enjoyed consuming. And, stuff like that. Like that video, since it was the first time doing it, and obviously we can get that time down. But I think I put personally about 8 hours into that video. And I know you're thinking, well, that's ridiculous, but that's what it takes. Granted, it wasn't like I sat down and did an 8-hour day just working on that. The nice part about editing videos is that I can do a half an hour in a waiting room while waiting at the doctor's office. I could do it, while sitting in line for an attraction at a theme park. Laying in bed and I can't sleep, I'll start editing. To fall asleep at night, I'll start editing because that'll put me right to bed. But yeah, a lot more things coming. Hi, Jason Mekis. Mel says, rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett and Suzanne Summers. Suzanne Summers died? That's so sad. Mark says, Braden is awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Braden. Honestly, I've been watching more and more of his channel, and there's a lot of content out there, and I'm getting more and more busy every day, which is fantastic, because more money I make, the more money I can put into the channel. But, so being busy is good. None of mine being busy. I love being busy. My whole life has been busy. That's also why, I just threw my pen. If you're new to the channel, although something I promise working on every day is, I'll set up a live stream for, let's say, 3:30, and then you might see it go to like 3:40, and then 3:45, and then we go live at like 3:49. What I intend to is be there at 3 o'clock, but then just like one thing happens to the next thing, and I try to stick to a strict schedule, but like if I go pick up equipment from somewhere, drop it off, then someone starts a conversation, or if I go do this, I might run into somebody, or someone might run into me, and I'm not very good at saying like, hey, I really have to go. I want to let someone feel a little bit of love. And when I feel like they've grasped the love, I go, I am running very late for something else. I got to go. So that's what happens. I promise I'm never just late, like I'm sitting around on the couch at home finishing a show. That is never the case. It's usually I'm running from somewhere else. What's going on, Stephen Noon? Hi, Aaron Murphy. Ryan said it wouldn't be Pete without 17 side stories. That is 100% correct. Ryan, you should come in on one of these Mondays if you're ever off and hang out and we can talk. It was great seeing Ryan. I got to hang out with Ryan so much the first week of October. Now I'm spoiled. Also, yeah, we have to talk about the short, Once Upon a Studio. A lot of people are talking about it. I have not seen it yet. Maybe we'll do a live watch along in the second hour. We can all queue it up. Dawn, if you can let me know, or Brandy, or whatever, whoever knows how to do it. I'm just saying that because those are the two names that are on the top of my screen here. Can you tell me where we could watch it, and maybe we'll just do a live watch along? Because I heard, maybe you'll watch me cry. Everyone I heard cried watching it, and it's amazing. And if it's a short, I think we can do it. I'm muted. Oh, maybe I'm not muted? Can you hear me and see me before I go on? Wow, that would have been crazy if I had just done, how many minutes in are we? 36 minutes already, and I was muted. Oh my God. Talk about a therapy session. That is hysterical. Oh boy. You can hear me? Can you hear me and see me all right? It's on Disney Plus? All right. I think that's how we'll start the 1 o'clock hour. If everybody wants to queue it up and watch it together, I'll go get or I can watch it on my laptop. I have Disney Plus here on my laptop. We can't show it because I'm sure Disney will have it taken down immediately. But I'll tell everyone to have it ready, and we'll do a little countdown, and we can watch if you're near a second source, whether you have if you're on your cell phone and you want to use your cell phone or a computer, TV, iPad. If you could watch me and that at the same time, we'll set that up for today. We'll do that in a little bit. Maybe I'll start crying. Who knows? I wish I had a button like, cut to commercial. What else is going on here? But yeah, so we'll definitely, let's watch that short. We'll talk about that after I watch it, obviously. But yeah, I love that. Brandy says, you know who has better themed resorts with cheaper prices? Universal. And I know, and they do more for their pass holders, and we have to do, Brandy, next time you come down. Also, Brandy, I am so sorry. Brandy comes down, she bears gifts, she does, she takes us on tours, she gives us amazing stories, takes care of everyone. She had these buttons she made for us for HHN night, part of her Boo crew. Brandy is truly phenomenal. I'm convinced it's her actual birth name, and she just had it dropped because it was hard growing up with that kind of pressure. But she really is phenomenal. And we wouldn't have a website without Brandy too. So if you have, give Brandy a hug. I don't know if she's okay with everyone just giving her hugs, but just do it until she tells me it's too much. But I was going to ask Brandy for another favor. That's why I'm teeing this up. Is next time you're in town, Brandy, we have to, whether it's live or not, because that way at least if I can go, I can kind of learn stuff and do it for everybody else, is I need to do exploring of the Universal resorts. I've only been in Cabana Bay and kind of explored it. I've only been in the lobby of the Aventura. I've been in the Portofino Bay, which I thought was beautiful, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, pretty intoxicated the time I was there. I was having a good time. Hard Rock, I've been in their pool and I've hung out there, but I haven't really done a full tour. I probably know Hard Rock the best of all of them, also because I'm there pretty often. I have a lot of people that stay there. For some reason, that's where like most people who I know stay. So I've been in their pool a lot. We've gone to their restaurants and whatnot. But I really need to show all of you more Universal resorts because it is neat. So I guess I was muted for a little bit. I don't know what you guys missed, or if you want to hear me talk about it. Do you know when I left and came back? I don't know what happened. I'm on the Wi-Fi, so it should be clear. I look clear here. Ryan, when you said 61 year-round day or night, what were you referring to? Because I'm a little bit behind. Pete Stummy says, mix it up Mondays during lunch. Doesn't get any better. Hope all is well. Yeah, same to you. I loved your post about Disney the last few days on Instagram. Doug Rosenthal says, Magic Band Monday, I see. Yes, just a few of the Magic Bands. I actually want to do a giveaway because obviously the Mix It Up Mondays doesn't have as big of a crowd as the other streams. If I'm at a theme park or doing something with a little pizzazz, it gets a lot more love. This is, I think, just kind of like a deeper dive into the channel. If you're like, you know what, I kind of think he's fun in the theme parks. I kind of want to learn a little bit more. You get to know me a little bit better on these Mondays. And it's just, like I said, fun, hopefully for all of you. I still take some time out, and again, I'm pushing appointments, and I want to make sure I'm keeping all my Mondays free from 11:30 to, at least 2:30. Because I want to do more for you and share more with you, because I cannot thank you all enough for watching the videos, hitting the like button, commenting, and the channel has really been growing. I shared in our Discord, again, another great reason to go check out our Discord, and I've discussed with the Patreons on Zoom calls. We've seen really great growth over the last 3 months, and it wouldn't be without all of you. And it's from everything I watch on YouTube about being a creator, and everything, every person I talk to is it does have a snowball effect as long as you keep giving it a little bit of love. Not that and I've been giving it a lot of love, but as you get more subscribers and get more views, YouTube starts pushing it out more, and you'll see your subscribers come in at a faster rate, your views go up at a faster rate. But that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for all of you. So I really, really, really have to thank you so much. And that's kind of what these Mix It Up Mondays all about. Is, again, I know that if I go to a theme park for 4 hours, let's say that 11:30 to 3:30, I can go get 2,000 views, and it'll be amazing. We'll get a bunch of new subscribers. Usually, for a nice 4-hour stream, we get at least 20 subs, which is really great. And on this, I might get 1 subscriber, and we'll get like 400 views. But I wanted something consistent, and that's the whole point of Mix It Up Monday, which I'm always going to throw this out there today too, is that Mix It Up Monday doesn't mean it has to be here in the house. I do have a few Mondays I'm looking at where we might do Mix It Up Monday in a park. I do, however, want to keep the commitment of 12 noon on Mondays, because I really just want to do something and stick to it for at least a test run. And we said we were going to do this for 10 weeks at least, and then look back and kind of analyze. And this was I knew I had every Monday for at least 2 or 3 hours free in the middle of the day, so that's why we're doing this now. Is it a terrible time slot? Absolutely. People are at work, people are at school, people have lives, or if they're here, they're in the theme parks. It's the middle of the day. But it was the time I had free that I commit to all of you. So anyway, Lynette says T3 is great, helped us with our January trip. Love to hear that. Andrew says it's a chilly 55 degrees. He's up in Mass. About to go out for my lunchtime run, half marathon this Sunday. That's amazing. Good luck on your half marathon. Speaking of which, I really have to get to Kraken because we have the Run Disney weekend coming up, the Wine and Dine Run Disney weekend. I'm doing the 5K. Lauren's doing the 5, 10 and a half. I was just talking with Kenny Saraki, one of our Patreons last night. He was an Eagles fan, so we were messaging during the game. I was DJing, so he would write a bunch of trash talk, and I would look at it real quick and be like, oh, but it's a close game. But, there's going to be a ton of people in town that weekend for the Run Disney Wine and Dine weekend. Wow. I'm really excited about it. Pete is currently living inside a stateroom. Yeah, that's it. I am. This is no windows. There's doors, so it's not the haunted mansion. It's a stateroom. You're totally right. I'm halfway through this email I'm writing, but I keep revising it because I want to be nicer. I need to work on being nice. For me, it's mean. I don't want to be mean. I just want them to know that I'm frustrated and that I mean a little bit of business, but also I appreciate everything they're doing, and I know that you have to paint the buildings. I don't know why they chose our building, why it takes a month. I could have had the building painted in a weekend with my crack team of painters that I could have trained the day before, but it's just the most beautiful time of year here in Orlando, where you can go outside in the mornings. It's 68 degrees, and I can't look outside. For me, I've been in a fog for a month. And I'm going on a tangent. Hi, Izzo in the house. We love Izzo. Izzo got another great YouTube channel as well. Dawn says it's a little dreary in old New England today. Sorry to hear that. Ryan says, as someone who worked at SeaWorld with all the animals, if anything, their PR undersells it. So that's great to hear, too, from someone who's working behind the scenes. It's not like they, are saying all these great things and then telling everyone else, listen, just give the animals whatever's left over. We'll move on. It's nice to hear that they really are trying to make those strides. And I think that's a big thing. I'm proud of them. Speaking of feeding animals, a fun fact, which I never really tell anyone about at Disney, but do you know, all the food that is given to animals at Disney is, human grade? We can consume it. There's nothing that the animals receive that you couldn't eat yourself, which I think is pretty neat. I'm sure a lot of zoos couldn't say the same thing. Bill said, check out the wooden mug. Yeah, we got the Adventures by Carney mug. We got the stainless steel here. I think there's still a few of these left. Also, if you are a big fan of the channel, we'll talk about that later on, but we got a few of these left. So if you want one, they're great. I like them because they're thin. They can fit in a cup holder in your pocket, for me, which is fantastic, or a stroller. They really keep your hots hot. I put tea in this. It stays hot all day, or which I don't want it to, but sometimes early in the morning, if I'm going to go work a 5K or a marathon on the mic, I try to warm up. When you wake up at 3:30 in the morning, you got to be on the mic by 4:30 or 4 and wake up at 5 on 3 hours of sleep. this will keep everything almost too hot. And then the colds are great too. Like I have put ice cubes in this, and when I come home from the parks, there's still ice cubes in this. And I just keep refilling it with water, especially now that all the theme parks have water bottle refillers. This is also the exact height that fits underneath. So really just so awesome. And this was a big thanks to Bill D, who contacted, who had the partnership with Dugout Mugs, big company, high quality, and I highly recommend it. And they are durable. This thing has been dropped 40,000 times, believe it or not. I've kept track. It was a big anniversary, the big old 40K droppage. Still looks great. So thanks, Bill. Brandy says the SeaWorld AP is the best value in town, and they always give freebies. I totally agree. What other place gives you free beer? Also, the SeaWorld AP, if you want, can be looped in with Aquatica, their water park, as well as Busch Gardens in Tampa, which is nice too, especially if you ever want to go check that out. We make it down there, and I took it off my AP because we only go maybe once a year anyway. I always say I want to go more, but the schedule gets crazier and crazier. But it is an amazing value. I mean, their annual pass is so cheap. Let's see. Yeah, Brandy. So, just staying on the SeaWorld annual pass, their one-day ticket, I think if you buy the annual pass, might be just a few dollars more. Like sometimes, depending on the deals they have. They also have the Fun Pass, which is different from the annual pass. The Fun Pass doesn't include parking where they get you. So, like my cousin had the Fun Passes, which again were a great value. I think she paid $99 for the year. Which a cost of a one-day ticket is I think $105. So cheaper than a one-day ticket. But it doesn't include parking, and parking I think there is like, 20, 30, 40 bucks depending on what day and season. It doesn't get you the same discounts in the park. What's another crazy thing about SeaWorld is that their annual pass gets you discounts on food and alcohol. Like I think I get 20% off food and alcohol. So it's like Tables in Wonderland, but year-round everywhere. It's amazing. And including their booths, I believe. It's pretty cool. We're really giving SeaWorld a lot of love today, and we haven't even gotten to Universal and Disney or the main topic. And welcome to a Mix It Up Monday. If you want to get to know me, we're 47 minutes in, and we're just getting through chat after our little intro. Brandy says, yeah, the team members are the magic. Yeah, Universal team members really have just, I've watched it since I've been here the last 4 years. Just unbelievable. Their in-park entertainment sadly has exceeded Disney. How many times do you see roaming characters or just performers or just, random people that work for the park doing funny or cool things or even costumes? You don't see it that often anymore at Disney. You might see it once a day and be like, oh my God, I spotted it. It was such a big deal. You took a video of it. You told everybody about it because that's how rare it is. I feel like at Universal, I always run into 2 or 3 different groups or acts or singing performers or people doing something wacky on the street, starting a little street show or streetmosphere. They've really done such a great job. Dawn, I'm glad you caught that joke. Again, I'm going back a few minutes. Maddie Cash Me Outside is here. Says the whole iDrive area is about to change. All those hotels on iDrive have no idea how much it's going to change in a good way, money-wise. Because that whole area is going to be right backed up to the new Universal Resort. That iDrive area is going to be crazy. Oh, Ryan caught my joke too. Dawn says Disney assumes everyone's going to come to Epcot and drink and go on Guardians. Yeah, and that's the sad part. But I do think, and again, I'm an optimist for those who don't know. I really do think Disney, there's starting to be a change in the tide. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was in the parks because I started noticing little things, like little details. And I'm like, oh, they haven't added little details in forever. I really like these little details. That's, I think, why a lot of us love Disney is the little things. Like we like the big attractions and the big fireworks and all the big news that we get. But the attention to detail in those little things that like maybe 7 out of 10 people would walk right by and never even notice or know about. And then sometimes they even do little things where like, they don't even tell people about them, they don't find them on their own. And it's like, it makes its way through Disney lore and 5% of people even know it happens. Which we try to bring you a lot of that here on the channel. But those kind of went away. And now we're seeing them, I think, coming back. Some things I think are going to have to change all over again. Again, I'm going to reference Braden's video. Something I heard him say is that they've been doing a lot of these resort refurbs, which I think a lot of big Disney fans haven't been the biggest fan of. But I guess the Boardwalk one was done so poorly they're going to have to redo it again, which is just crazy how Disney, I feel bad. I don't want to say waste, but spends money. But then sometimes, you get these really great things. I mean, the little changes they're doing to give them credit, the fact that they brought back soaring over California. People have been loving that. They even changed the sign so it doesn't say around the world. It's been a big hit. Moana, again, not a big e-ticket attraction, but a very cute, well thought out attraction at Epcot, which I think is going to benefit the park, and I think you would like it. You have to go in with your old school Disney mentality, I would say, right? Like, we're so used to everything being so big and so grand. And e-ticket, for those who don't know the ticket system, e-tickets were like the biggest, craziest attractions back when they used to have ticket books. And then like the A-ticket would be like the carousel, so and then there'd be different tiers, right? Pirates might be a C or a D ticket, maybe an E when it opens, but then it goes down. But we're so used to those things. I really like Moana. And I think once these construction walls come down, I'm also very excited about Luminous. We have to talk about Luminous. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Because I've been getting so much more information every time I'm in the park. Sometimes you see it on a live stream if you're watching. But then I'll turn the camera off, or I'll try to exchange information with them, or other things, which I don't know if I should put on camera, but I am very excited about Luminous. It might be the thing I'm most excited about out of all the things coming in the next, we'll say, 6 to 12 months at Disney. Maybe also the refurb for Splash, because I'm staying optimistic there with the whole Tiana Flume. And that's probably the biggest thing that's coming, I'd say, for Disney in the next 12 months here, even with them taking down the walls. But everything I'm hearing from everyone and all the questions I ask, the answers I'm getting from different people, like whether it's certain executives I ask, certain Imagineers I've asked, the certain pyrotechnicians I've asked, certain boat operators I've asked, people who work on the fountains. Everything I'm getting has been so great, including, and I've said this on multiple live streams, I call them the Times Square steps. They're much smaller profile. They'll have just as big of a bang as anything else we've seen, from Illuminations to Harmonious. But also they're going to be towable in and out. Even though they're low profile, they probably could have gotten away with leaving them out there because it doesn't really take away from sight lines too much. Like maybe just crest your vision of, if you're looking from, let's say, India, or, the bridge by the India Equatorial Africa area to like Canada. Or if you're looking from the spine between Mexico and Canada over towards Germany or Italy, they wouldn't have really impeded that too much. But I just like that, hey, they heard the feedback and they're going to pull them in and out every night. I got so many other things I want to tell you about Luminous. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I do want to see what's in the chat so it's somewhat in a timely manner that I can answer you guys. But I agree with you, Maddie. Cash me outside. Yes, Just Mouse and Around says the Reedy Creek standards are always over and above what the state standards required, considering Disney was the controlling board. Now they can't blame anyone but themselves. Yeah, and I think that was great for Disney, right? Because they went above and beyond the state standards. But also now silly things, like let's say they want to fill a pothole or work on a road. Now they have to go through that red tape of that new board put in by our current governor, where they obviously don't want potholes in their road. Like that's a fix they can fix relatively quickly. So they could have just gone out and do it. Or like if they wanted to install a stoplight or a stop sign or make some changes to the infrastructure and make life easy. And again, I'm talking about easy things here. Even some landscaping changes are going to have to be run by this board, where Disney could have just done it. And that was for our convenience and to keep us happy. And those were quick. And now it's just more red tape on top of red tape. And, I'm not the biggest fan of bureaucracy. I believe in checks and balances, but I don't believe in and I already think there's too much bureaucracy at Disney to begin with right now. But I don't know. I'm hoping that this will work itself out as well. It seems as though both sides, I feel like it was bad PR for both. So I feel like Bob Iger and Disney kind of want this to be somewhat of a peaceful resolution. I feel like same thing with DeSantis. I think he realized that he stepped in it a little bit and that he's got to maybe back off a little bit too. Anyway, also, this is a good point too. Brandy mentioned that Universal Orlando now has a special improvement district board now as well. But however, DeSantis never got involved in that. Didn't bat an eye, and it was obviously personal. I think that's where the big issue was and why it blew up so big. It's rough. And yeah, it's I don't ever want to talk about anything political, and I'm pretty much down the middle. So you could hate me on one thing and love me on the other, and vice versa. But I just think DeSantis has made some really questionable moves, if you will. Especially with Disney. I'll leave it on the Disney stuff. But yeah, I love everybody. Brandy says the Crayola experience is cool. They have the world's largest crayon. It's blue. That's fun. You're my boy, Blue. Hope still remembers it from when we went when she was little. That's really cute. Yeah, I'm always looking for things to do for that for certain families on their non-resort days, or even when like my nieces or nephews are in town. Let's see what else we got going here. Yeah, I mean, we could talk more about that later on. I don't want to get too much into politics, but I think it's going to work itself out. I don't think if you're a politician that, no matter what side you're on, if you were a politician that said, hey, I'm pro-business, and then you picked a fight with the biggest business in your state, it's it's a bold move, Cotton. It's a bold strategy. But whatever, right? Let's not talk politics. But this is just to do with Disney stuff, because I just think it added more red tape, and a lot of the time, he has mentioned that he's, tries to stay out of business, tries to let business flourish and grow. So I'm just going off of that. I love everybody. You would hate my voting pattern throughout my life, or love it, but it was here, then it was here, then it was here, then it was here. Doug says, next time you're in my neck of the woods, I'll take you to the National World War II Museum. I'm never there. That's cool. I like it's sad, not that I like that stuff. I think it's awful and it was atrocious and whatnot, but big fan of the World War II documentaries and world history like that. My dad also, served in the Air Force and served during Vietnam, so I got a little bit of that growing up and learning about that. Oh, I said a lot of nice things about you, Daniel. You missed it. Ooh, yeah, everyone's telling me about this cap cut thing. I don't know if my brain can handle that, Brandy. But I like all your edits. And if you guys want to see some really amazing pictures and videos from HHN behind the scenes and with those tours of all the 6 houses, Brandy was cool enough to put the pictures and videos in our Discord. The link is down below. It's free. If you want, just go create an account. I recommend using your real name or your YouTube name so we know who you are. It's completely free. We have over 300 and change members, which is so cool. What an amazing community. And I deserve none of the credit except for the fact that it's called Adventures by Carney. And I don't even deserve credit for this. My parents gave me that last name. And adventure, I like doing adventurous things. And I also liked things to be easily remembered. So I went A, B, C. And also adventure was working because when I used to do business strategy and marketing for people, your searches, you always want to have an A up there, right? Be one of the first ones that pop up. So yeah, that's the story of Adventures by Carney. I even kept my own last name. I know that annoys people, but I really have to have every last drop. That is delicious. Let's get it off screen. Move in the water. All right. Yep, part of the ADHD. Awesome. So we can totally do a watch long. We'll do that in a little bit. Maybe we'll grab a cocktail too at that time. Hi, Jaywar says happy Monday, I guess. Hey, start of a new week. I love Mondays. I mean, you would think I shouldn't, but to me, I just love a clean slate. And why do we even designate Monday as that? I don't know. Most Americans go to work on Monday, but it's a new week. It's a new opportunity to get things done. No matter what happened last week, I can kind of forgive myself a little bit and say, all right, well, this is the week. I'm going to get things done. And I try to do that every day as well. But a week just feels like I got some wiggle room because the days are just too short. Brandy says she hasn't watched the short yet because she doesn't want to cry at work. Come on, just do it. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people love the short. We're definitely going to watch that. Yeah, I know Brandy is... Brandy's just awesome. I'm glad I was only muted for a few seconds. That makes me feel a little bit better, but also maybe more people would watch if I was muted for longer. By the way, if you're enjoying it, please hit the like button. We just passed the 50 marker. It'd be really cool to get to 100. I don't think we've done it on a Mix It Up Monday, but man, that would be exciting. Brandy says my November tour is basically all EDC. I love it. I really want to go one day. Can we plan this for real? Like which day we're going to go and what we're going to do? How we're going to get there and all these other things. I've been in Orlando 4 years. Still have not done an EDC Orlando. I've done Vegas. I've done New York. I've never done down here. I got to do it. But I will finally give you all your stuff. I just have so much stuff for Brandy. I have some stuff here in this room, some stuff in my storage unit, and I think I still have something in my car. I have all your stuff, Brandy. Rosita's here. Says, howdy all at the doctor office waiting on my mother-in-law. That's fun. Well, I hope she's okay, but it's nice that you get to spend some time with her. That's very nice. David Long said, I've only stayed at the Royal Pacific. I've never even been to the Royal Pacific. I left that off of my Universal resorts. So another Universal resort to Royal Pacific. Totally forgot about that too. Oh, Ryan. Oh, that's what you were saying 61 too. When we were talking about apartment temperature, 61 is crazy. I mean, I love it, but that is crazy. That was like, I just did the penguin experience over at SeaWorld. We're coming back to SeaWorld again. But for the first time, I've always just gone past it because the line is too long. And I'm like, I can't justify waiting over 30 to 40 to 60 minutes to see some penguins. Like, I love penguins, but that's a long time. But I didn't realize the real attraction is that the room is kept at like 45 degrees. It is amazing. I could have stayed there all day. It was a hot day when we went too. It was like 95 degrees outside. And I was like, oh, why are we leaving? This is why you wait in line. By the way, don't just run up to Brandy and hug her. I was joking. She's not really a hugger, but you can definitely like give her a high five, have a drink with her, Knuckles. She's a great person. Bill says, I want to go in January to Universal Orlando. There we go. Yeah, Brandy's the person to check out. They do like a lot of fun stuff throughout the year too. This is what I was going to get into in the meat and potatoes of the show, is talk about like the different festivals coming up in the new year, because they have like the Mardi Gras and what's going on at SeaWorld's festivals and Disney. Food and Wine ends, I think 4 days later, Festival of the Holidays begins, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So I think we're going to do the last day of Food and Wine. I like to always do like the first and last day. I think it's fun. It's something that I would watch, so that's why I do it. And I think it's fun. But I'll be actually in New York for the first day of Festival of the Holidays again. Because again, they started doing it the day after Thanksgiving, which is so frustrating. Because it's already so busy then. Like, come on, Disney. Put your opening day. You know it draws people in on a non-busy day. It's already a zoo on Friday after Thanksgiving. Why would you want to add more curveballs to your staff, but also add more people to the park like us? Just push it to like Monday. Let all of us crazy Disneys, whether the vloggers, bloggers, locals, go try all these booths. Tell everybody all week long from Monday through Thursday. And then have all your locals come in and enjoy it on Friday. Plus, it gives your staff 4 days to kind of make sure everything's getting done right. We were missing this. We need more of this. That's the move, right? Doesn't that make sense? I don't know. That's what I would do, but what do I know? I hope everything goes well, Rosita, with your mother-in-law. Brandy will be back in town the day after Christmas through January 8th. That's awesome. I'll be in New York for a little bit of the Christmas time, but then I'll be back in early January as well. Let's see. Yeah, we have to talk about Universal Mardi Gras and everything else, which is always a good time as well. And also the greatest gift card program in the history of gift cards. We'll get to that later. Yes, I didn't even talk about my Jets, but the Jets had a big victory yesterday. If you're a football fan, great day of football. I got to see some of it. I was a little busy, but I listened to a lot of it. And was literally watching on like my phone or a screen while working in other jobs. It was a really fun day. And a lot of fun upsets that I called. I do a football show on the Pete McDevitt channel, another great YouTube channel. On most Thursdays, I'll go in and do his football show, make my predictions. And it was a good week this week. And some of my bolder calls where I was the lone wolf. There's 5 of us. If I'm the only one who makes the pick, I'm the lone wolf. My lone wolf picks came in. So I was like, enough about the NFL. Let's see what's going on. Yes, it's Rosita's birthday weekend. I think she's going to be in town this week and this weekend. I'm going to try hopefully see Rosita a few times. The Dolphins look amazing if we're going to talk NFL. Man, those Dolphins cannot be stopped. Yeah, 40,000 times. Nico says, good call in the Jets game. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Jets fan, but also I just have I have this little bit of football knowledge. I enjoy sports, and I had a good feeling. Also, can we talk about how crazy it is? I know this isn't Disney. But everyone knows, I think in the world, there's 2 big football stories this year that happened right out of the gate. One, Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets. Everybody was pumped up and excited. He got to play 4 snaps, and then he tore his Achilles, and they said he wouldn't be able to play for like a year. He got this like experimental surgery. He brought in the best doctors around the world. He did some of the same people that had Kobe Bryant when he came back quick from his Achilles. He brought in like this mega team. That happened on week 1. Yesterday was week 6, so this is 5 weeks later, right? If I'm doing my math correctly. In 5 weeks, he was walking without crutches and throwing passes on the field before the game started. That means he was able to lean, catch, and throw and walk onto the field without crutches, and he tore his Achilles 5 weeks ago. Like, that is mind-blowing. That is crazy town. Not only tore his Achilles, imagine having a 300-pound athlete fully made of muscle take you down. Like, it's not like you tore your Achilles, missing the last step going down your staircase. It was not pretty. It wasn't pretty. It just blows my mind. I love what we've accomplished as a society with modern medicine and everything else. Because, if the mega rich can afford it, it might trickle down to us one day. I don't know. I just thought it was crazy, and what an accomplishment by him. Also, he's a workaholic. I'm sure he's like PTing all day. There's also a lot of exciting baseball happening. Congrats to all the baseball fans. I'm a Mets fan, so congrats to your team. I'm pretty sure the Phillies are still in it. The Rangers from Texas. I can't even tell you the other teams that are in the baseball playoffs. Shows you how big of a fan I am. But I don't do any baseball shows, so it's not like I'm faking it. But yeah, baseball. Baseball's gotten a lot better with the new rules too. So I don't hate on baseball too much anymore. Let's see. Yeah, that's the other thing too. We haven't talked about this, Brandy. That speaking of baseball, there's a stadium coming to 192, and the Rays might be moving. We might be getting a baseball team here. It's going to be great, and they want to put another stadium downtown. We already have 3 within like 4 blocks. It's a zoo, especially if you're there when, like, the other night I was downtown for something, and I think 2 concerts and a game let out all within like an hour of each other. It took, I'm not exaggerating, 1 hour and 7 minutes to travel 1 mile. 1 hour, and you couldn't even pull off if you wanted to be like, leave your car there and jog home. It was crazy. So I don't know where they're going to put another stadium downtown. I'm hoping it's further down by 192. Dawn says, Moana reminds me of a bit of old Epcot with the edutainment aspect. I totally agree. That's why I'm a fan. Moana's gotten my thumbs up. And again, it's not something I'm going to go and do every single trip. Like, when I'm at Epcot, if you told me I could do Guardians every time and the wait wasn't that long, I would do Guardians every time. It's what, or Soarin'. I love Soarin'. I can do it all the time. Moana's not something I'm going to have to do all the time. But it's super cute. I would definitely go check it out from time to time just to like go look at it and be like, it's like it's just like the walking trails over at Animal Kingdom, right? Like there's some amazing animals and great theming and you can learn all these things, but not everybody takes the time to go do the different treks and trails at Animal Kingdom. I think Moana's gonna be like that. You're gonna do it. It's very neat. I recommend taking your time, not skipping certain things, or maybe do it twice. Do it during the day, do it at night. 2 totally different experiences. It's very cool. Dawn says the Boardwalk DVCs need a refurb for sure. I know that too. Also, apparently Reflections is coming back. I didn't want to talk about this a few weeks ago, but when I was over there, it looked like they were starting to do stuff again. I know some people on that project as well, and I'm curious. So I'm like, I was like, maybe they're just moving some stuff around, and they're going to do something else. But again, and not to reference Braden too much here today, but he says, according to his sources, it might be coming back. Riviera is so gorgeous, so beautiful. Still very new though too. Brandy says Brian, her husband, said he was hating on Moana a little bit, but Hope loved it. And that's the thing, right? It's not for everybody, but what attraction is? So many people love Guardians, and others say like, that is not for me. No, thank you. I'll wait here. I'll be in Mexico. No, thanks. Some people love Soarin'. Some people like, again, not for me. I'm good. So every experience is going to have that. I think, honestly, that's another good part of the experience. Obviously, it'd be great if everybody loved it, but some things aren't meant to be enjoyed by everybody, and that's why you have a bunch of things to do in a theme park. That's what makes it fun. You have the second largest aquarium in North America that nobody even talks about, which is also about getting some love right now as well. Apparently, they're shifting away from the IP of Nemo and just bringing it back to those living seas days of yesteryear, if you will. Lynette says the Saratoga Springs refurb was pretty cheaply done. Yeah, that's a shame. I've seen some of those too. Like at first, again, everything looks nice aesthetically and in pictures, but it just feels like we're going a little bit cheaper. Like things that were like these beautiful fixtures that looked carved or put into the walls, or these different units. Now they're going to like stickers. Like even the Grand Flow, like marble floors, and now you tear up marble floors to put in carpeting. in Florida at the Grand Floridian. Who's making these calls? Not Disney people, especially not old school Disney people. Especially at the prices for the Grand Flo. Those marble floors, I mean, again, they didn't tear them all up. But there are areas that the marble floor is still in good condition. And even if it's not, you just patch those bad boys because it's marble flooring. You don't add carpeting. It's, yeah, I don't know. Even with the paint colors, the upstairs now is like this dark gray. It looks cloudy if you look up, like into that beautiful, it used to be this bright, beautiful, probably one of the most beautiful lobby main areas of a hotel in any Disney property or any property here in Orlando that I can think of. Nothing is grander than that Grand Floridian entrance. And now you paint the darker floors dark, like, so now you have white and like dark gray. It literally looks like a cloudy day if you look up, which is a shame to me. But who knows what'll happen. I also don't hate the refurbed rooms at the Grand Floridian. I do think the old style was cool. Some people said it looks like, your grandma's place or something from like the 70s or 80s or like an old cottage in England, which again, like was technically like is that Victorian style. But I think they're, I don't know. So I saw a few different rooms. I haven't seen all of them. I'm just one man. Some of the rooms I saw looked a little hotel Holiday Inn-ish to me, but some of them did look very nice. And I did like some of the changes, and they were brighter, neater, but still felt very elegant and Victorian, and obviously that's what they want to go for. I don't like that Disney's just been using the term like contemporary or modern on everything, because to me that just gives them an excuse to make everything look, like I said, like a Marriott or a Holiday Inn. And that's not a shot at the Marriott or Holiday Inn. I love staying in both of those places most of the time. And I've stayed in many around the country for many years. Used to travel for work. I was in hotels a lot. And there's nothing against them. But when you're on a Disney property, we're going to Disney for something a little different. If I want to stay at a Marriott, I just stay at the one close to Disney for literally, like, I can stay at the nicest Marriott, with the exception of, like the Four Seasons over there. But you can stay at a very, very nice hotel in Orlando for a fraction of the price of the Grand Floridian. So we'll see. Yeah, the interactive aspects of Moana were fantastic. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat, and we'll do a little watch along, some other stuff too. Surf Bum, what's up? Yes, I'm very pumped about my Jets. I was going to wear a Jets jersey today, but I didn't want to be too over the top. I put a lot of thought into these outfits. Today, if you want to put in the chat what you think this is, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but if you know what this is, feel free to put it in the chat. Yeah, one day we'll have like a TV screen back here. Maybe we'll have some production value. We'll see what happens. This is just for fun. This is for us, right? Even if you're new here, it's for us. Oh, Jamie, when you come down, Festival of the Arts will be going on. That's awesome. One of my favorite festivals. I wanted to talk about that today too, but we'll see how much time we have. There is nothing better than watching the Patriots lose, and I'm not saying that just to be mean, because the Patriots dominated for years and years and years. I think as a Patriots fan, you kind of have to, maybe you're just tired of celebrating. Like, maybe you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that losing was even an option. But as growing up as a Jets fan and having the Patriots ruin your football season for most of your formative years, it's been fun to kind of watch the Patriots struggle. But I did, yeah, Dawn, sorry to pass that you down. I actually ended up making money in the game. My first bet I made on them did lose, but then I bet them live twice, and those two won. Love the live bet. Dawn said, this is a good point too, that athletes heal a lot quicker than the rest of us schlubs. That is a very good point. And also, Lynette, as I was saying too, yeah, they have different treatment than we get for sure. I think that's another good point, Dawn. And with baseball, I think just everyone's rooting against the Astros ever since that they were cheating. I think that's pretty much universal, unless you live in that little area where the Astros are. In that case, I know you didn't cheat, but you have to understand why the country might be frustrated. Diamondbacks are in there too. Yeah, I know there's some Diamondbacks fans out there. Again, I'm rooting for everybody. Mets are out. Jordan said probably not the Rays, since they just signed a new deal with the city of St. Pete. The city's helping them pay for a new stadium. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, you know what's so funny, David? He says next time don't drive, just take Orlando Mass Transit. Oh wait. So last week there was a convention here at the, we have one of the best convention, I don't know if it's the best, one of the largest, but it fits a lot of big conventions around the country. I think we're like one of the top 3 destinations in the country convention-wise for the Orange County Convention Center, and also all the convention space between Disney, Universal, and everything else. Anyway, last week was actually the, like, I forget the name of it, but it was all about mass transit and transportation in major cities. It was like a summit or something, convention. But I got to talk to a lot of these people when I was doing a little project that I'm working on down in that area on iDrive. And I was like, we all had the same conversation, like, how does Orlando not have mass transit? Like, it's crazy that there's some kind of train, trolley, that you have to pay, basically. I mean, Disney had it right and then went away from it. But, like, the fact that it would be so easy because Orlando Airport runs, I forget the number of the road, but basically there's a straight run right there along the highway. And then there you could just have a T, and literally you could hit SeaWorld, Disney, and Universal without basically even having to, like, turn a train track. Like, you come this way, and then you can either decide to go right or left, whether you have a little substation, or there's just 2 tracks where you decide if you want to go north or south on I-4, and then you go and it just cuts. And they would run right into those theme parks. And just with the amount of people and how they're planning on expanding now that the Bright Line is open, more things are coming to town. They're opening more theme parks. We need mass transit. We cannot handle the cars. I've seen, just in my 4 years living here, I-4 and the auxiliary roads and other highways as well have gotten so bad, so crowded. Like, even like I said, now that they have these 3 stadiums down there, 2 concerts and a soccer game lets out, it takes you over an hour to go 1 mile. Like, and there's no mass transit. Like, you can't hop on like a subway. There's no buses down there. Like, you know, there's nothing. There's not even city bikes. I don't think they allow scooters in that area either. They're very selective on area there's scooters. So, like, it's walking or it's call an Uber and wait. I think the wait for Uber, somebody told me that night, was like an hour and a half wait for an Uber. Something insane like that. Like, that's crazy. We need mass transit here. I totally agree. It's going to be a monster project. They're working on it. Some of the infrastructure, the work they're doing on I-4, I'm happy they're doing it, but also as somebody who, if you grew up on Long Island in New York, you would know this, but, like, we always made the joke, they worked on the Belt Parkway for 25 years. The construction work is a lot. There's a lot happening. And also, they're just still adding condo units and housing everywhere you look, just popping up. There's going to be so many people here. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to watch. Kind of crazy. Yeah, the Holiday Inn, for those who don't know, the new hotel going up over the Holiday Inn. No one's really a big fan of that, I think. That was done by an outside company, not Imagineers. We'll see what happens. Trying to stay positive. David Long says, it's hard to roll suitcases on carpet. Keep the marble floors. Yeah, and the marble floors are just beautiful. Jordan says, I was hoping they would have to move from Tampa, but, you know, money talks. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Darn, I'm so not tired of celebrating. Well, you know what? How about giving us a little bit of celebrating? Ryan says, the Pats have more than struggled this year. Hi, Kelsey, what's going on? Says, trying to work, emphasis on trying. Hey, I get it. It's Monday. We'll try and give you a little bit of a break. Mike Graney in the house. Dawn, of course, failing Mike in that I wasn't trashing the Patriots. I was just saying, I think it's nice that everybody gets a turn. I'm a fair and just person, I believe. If you had a team, let's call them the New York Jets, and they've never been to a Super Bowl in your entire time on planet Earth, and have never won a Super Bowl in over 50 years, I think it's fun for them to win every once in a while, as opposed to another team, let's call them the Patriots, who won 45 times, or what feels like every year of your life, or at least beating your team every time. It's just nice every once in a while to let everybody have a turn. You know, I'm always yelling at my nieces and nephews, make sure you share. That's basically what I was saying in a meaner way. Yeah, Granny gets it. He goes, it's been 20 great years. Yeah, it has been. David says, many places don't have mass transit because it needs to be subsidized and some sort of taxes. Yep, I get it. We won't get into all that, but yeah. Yeah, Lynette says, I can't believe the amount of housing complexes they put up. Me either. And I'm not joking, 3 more that are going up so within a mile of me that are going to have at least 500 units. Like, where are we putting, like, what is going to happen? We got to get rid of cars. We can't fit all the cars in Orlando. We should have just, man, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, or city of tomorrow, depending on which one you like. But yeah, it would have been so much nicer, a little hover tube. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about this week too. Disney's transportation. So when I was doing the research for the This Week in Disney History, it was really interesting reading Walt's letter about what he hopes would have happened in 50 years. That, you know, he said, I'll be long gone. Really cool letter. Maybe I'll read it a little bit later. But then I went down this rabbit hole of other things Walt predicted, and he was talking about transportation, and almost everything he predicted was almost exactly right. It was scary. Like, what a visionary. Man, I love it. Love me some Disney. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jimmy. Jordan said, have you ever been on the Sunrail? No, so the Sunrail exists, but it's not practical. I think it's more for commuters. And so for me to take the Sunrail to go anywhere downtown, I have to drive 20 minutes east and pick up the Sunrail station to go downtown or anywhere, or like Sanford. But if I want to drive downtown, they are installing express lanes, which are nice. Unless it's like a really bad rush hour, I can get downtown in like 35 minutes. So instead of driving 20, paying a fare, and then taking a 15-minute ride, I can just do it in my car. But the Sunrail isn't convenient locations. Like it's like if you had the New York City subway, since I grew up in New York. It's like if you had the New York City subway, but it didn't stop in like Times Square, Penn Station, you know, all the major like places. If it only stopped like along the East and West River and made you walk the East River and the Hudson, and then made you walk. It's not convenient, the locations they have it. It's great in theory, and I'm sure people ride it. And it doesn't run on weekends. Another crazy thing about Orlando Mass Transit. The more you know. Yeah, Ryan says he knows of 27 complexes going up in Orlando. That's nuts. Mike Rainey, the painting is going. You can hear it. It's going right now. They're outside listening and watching the show. I'm not mad at you guys. I'm mad at your supervisors and whoever owns this company, because they didn't teach you the right way to paint the building, and it's going very slowly. But that's not here nor there. I digress. Andrew, do you think the Jets will win the Super Bowl before they're done painting? They're both have the same odds of happening. I don't think they'll ever. Neither one. They're both like Disney. There'll always be a work in motion and never completed. Well done, Andrew. Well done. Brady says we priced out the Sunrail for our cruise next year, and it's slower and more expensive than driving from the port and parking. That is true. That's what I was saying. Yeah. However, I will say, I don't know why they didn't put on the Bright Line a stopover there at the turn, because they have to significantly slow down on the turn. I'm trying to get on the Bright Line and bring all of you a video to really do an in-depth trip, because I'm very excited about it, because I have cousins who live in West Palm. I hate making the drive. If I could be on my laptop editing or on my phone doing stuff or even doing a live stream, I think it's great. It is a little more expensive than gas, but honestly, for me not to have to drive 3 hours or 2.5 hours each way, that's 6 hours of productivity. So if it's just slightly more than the cost of gas, that is savings to me. All right, let's do this, because I just realized it's already 1:25, which is crazy that we're just chit-chatting it up and we've gone this far. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to grab some stuff for the next thing. And if you want, go find your password, look it up, see if you can find another device besides the one you're watching on here, and we'll all watch the new Disney short together, because I haven't seen it yet. Everyone's talking about it. So we'll watch the new Disney Plus short. Go find Disney Plus. If you don't have it, text a friend for a password really quick. We'll do a little watch along here. At least if you don't have it, you can watch my reaction and hear the sound from it. I might talk over it from time to time, just so I don't get dinged. Like when we were doing the arts and crafts stream the other day, Freaky Friday was in the background, and we had to cut out like 5-minute chunks in 4 different places where I just didn't talk, because you can't just watch something and put it on YouTube. So let's do a watch along. Maybe we'll do a quick little cocktail. I gotta run and grab some stuff for the next section of the show. Where's my? Oh, there it is. And just take a quick 5-minute breather. I'll see you in just a little bit. You could see that, right? I think so. We're back. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. If you're just joining us, I'm Pete Carney. That's me, right there. This is one of my favorite music loops I put on when we were gone. I used to listen to this in hotel rooms when I used to travel, what is it now, 6-7 years ago, for work all the time. And it just made me so happy. It just put me in a good place. I liked it a lot. All right, another thing, if you hit the like button, it really does help. We're at 56, trying to get at least as close to 100 as we can. And if you're watching on a replay or skipping around, which I totally recommend doing on this, you'll see breaks every Monday. There's little breaks that we skip around. Yeah. If you're watching, thanks for being here. Honestly, I think I probably can look this up, but I'm assuming you're a subscriber. But if you're not, I'd love for you to consider subscribing and go check out our channel, see all the fun, crazy stuff that we do. I'm very, very happy you're here. One other thing I want to do is every week, something that I said I wanted to do when I started the show is like one thing I just always want to do is a positive statement, positive thing, affirmation. I really believe in that fun stuff, or at least trying to spread a little bit of love and happiness, especially. I'm sure you don't live under a rock with all the absolutely awful things going on around our world right now. It's hard to keep your head up, I think, sometimes. So, this is something I try to do every day. I don't always get it, have the time or remember to do it. But I like finding some fun quotes or sayings or whatever it is and kind of just focusing on that and trying to push through the rest of the day or share it with somebody or remember that as I'm going through a hard time. So, this is one that I really like. Buddha, right? What a guy. We love drinking out of his belly at Japanese restaurants. We like buying his ceramic cups. But he had an amazing quote. And whether you're a Buddhist or not, I think this is something that everyone can kind of get behind. And if not, then whatever. But I really like it. And it's thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of that candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. And I love that, right? So there's the image of a candle is that I can take one candle and light like all the other candles on a birthday cake. And that one candle, because it lit all those other candles, doesn't mean it like got shorter faster. It just spread that light and that energy and that heat and fire to the other candles. And I love that if you think about happiness, it's the same thing, right? Like if you share happiness or you share positivity or you try to be kinder to others, it's not like your kindness or your happiness decrease. If anything, it might go up and you're making the world a better place. So no matter what you're going through, whether it's for you or for somebody else, or you just want to put that in one ear and out the other, that's fine too. But hopefully it helps you get through this day, this week, or anything else you may be going through. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It is time for our watch along. So if anyone has some time, real quick, if you're at work or whatever, driving, pull over. If you have a second device, pull up Disney Plus, sign in. We're going to watch the new short. Everyone is talking about it. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to watch it live on the air with all of you. So I'm going to log into Disney Plus. I'm going to silence this music, and let's see what the hype is all about. Actually, I don't know if this will get taken down, but I could try. Let me try something. Hold up, wait a minute, put a little. Is Lauren logged in on her computer is the question. If she is, maybe I could just put it on muted on one screen. I watch it on the other. Well, I don't think she is. Let's see. All right, no. All right, I tried. All right, so everyone just get your device. If not, you can just watch me reacting to it. Also, I don't know if we'll have time to make a cocktail this week, but maybe we'll make one or two next week. And also, we'll obviously have to finish this discussion too. There's a lot to talk about. But instead, because it is Monday, I will say this to all of you. Cheers. I poured myself a little glass of wine. I had a really good friend on Long Island growing up. In college and in my 20s. And I talk about it all the time. His family owned a wine and liquor shop. And he had a very funny saying about a bottle of wine. It's a family-friendly show, but let's just say he said a bottle of wine is like a certain form of contraception. As soon as you open it, you got to use it that night and make sure that's the last, whatever. Like, he was like, why would you ever like re-cork a bottle? And I'm like, well, some people can't drink a whole bottle of wine. He's like, well, then that's when you open that wine with friends. So, but the reason I'm saying that quote is I still had a little bit of wine left over from the weekend. So I was like, oh, now's the time. I broke his own rule. But yeah, so I'm having a little wine with you today. We'll do a cocktail next week. Cheers, everyone. Have a great week. I'm going to start mine now. It's going to make the appointments I have to go to later that much more fun. All right. Thanks, Buddha, for the great quote. Actually, I'm going to put this down before I go into Disney Plus on the other tab. I'm going to put this in the video description because it should be, if anyone wants to check it out, I'll put it in the Discord and the video description. So that way you could find it and see it. We'll throw it in the Discord for now. Under the Mix It Up Monday tab. In our Discord, by the way, again, link down below. We have Patreon news and updates, the Mix It Up Monday page. Anything that we talk about on this show, we have a tab for. We got a section on merch if you want to get some merch. We got hats, we got tank tops, we got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got our logo tee that looks like this. We got the Animal Kingdom 25th Pongu with Pete tee, which is super awesome. It's my favorite shirt. What else do we have in here? Live stream ideas, edited video ideas, Carney Crew meetups, which is if you're in town, you want to meet up with me or other people in the community just to say hi. That's in there. Theme parks, tips and hints. Website talk if you have questions or things about our website, adventuresbycarney.fun. That's right. Go check out our website, www.adventuresbycarney.fun. You can see the pictures from our last meetup in April, and I don't know if it's there yet. I didn't check this morning, but you know what? I'll check right now. Brandy is so awesome that we just sent her a bunch of pictures from our last meetup and put them up there. But also, there's the merch on there. There's all the socials. If you want to follow me on social media, my Instagram is @officialcarney. My Twitter or X is your WDW guy. I have to be careful. I just typed what I was saying. My TikTok is Adventures by Carney. The Patreon is Adventures by Carney. Thank you so much again to the Patreons. I'm going to give you some love in a little bit. I just reminded me of something else too that I have to say about the Patreons later. But yeah. Anyway, we have a great website, and then whatever else you follow me on. But the Discord's awesome. Discord's free. And it looks like the pictures, it looks like there's some new pictures on here. Or maybe I'm just watching the stream. I love our website. Oh, wait. Oh. It's not underneath that tab. It's probably coming soon. Brandy's got a million things to do, and she's amazing. You can go see the pictures from the other one. Slideshows from all of our meetups in the parks. And Brandy made a playlist. She's just awesome. Let's go. Which tab did I have Disney Plus in? Disney Plus. Oh, I have to respond to this too. I'm supposed to be in a Disney blogger documentary. I got to finish that too. Oh man, put that in a note. Disney documentary. I got to write that person back. All right, Disney Plus, where are you? We'll just open it up in a new tab. All right, where is this short? Part of the Disney 100 collection, I'm guessing. Haunted Mansion is on here? If you guys haven't seen Haunted Mansion yet, if you're a fan of the theme parks, I pretty much have figured it out. If you like the theme parks and the Haunted Mansion ride, you will really like the movie, I think. If you are not a fan of the theme parks or don't remember a lot about the ride or have never been on it, you might think it's a weird movie and that you really didn't enjoy it. So that's pretty much from everyone I've pulled what's going on there. But where is this short? I want to find the short. Let's just see if I can, let's go home. You guys are probably telling me in the chat too, but there it is. Once Upon a Studio. I knew it would be on the homepage. All right, I'm not going to play it yet. It's only 12 minutes. We're going to do a watch along all together. But before I do that, let me just. I have to take care of a couple things. One, let me just see if there's anyone I have to say some hellos to, because everyone deserves a little bit of love. Yes, we're going to watch Once Upon a Studio on Disney Plus. Everyone, go watch it on the second device. We'll watch it together. You can watch it with me watching it. I got to get rid of the ums. I need an jar. Everyone get it queued up. Go find a bathroom, a quiet place. Are we ready? Hi, Erin. Hi, Adrian. All right. I got to pause this, and I have to pause this, so there's nothing playing in the background besides that. All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Here we go. There's an ad. I'm skipping the ad. I will pause it. Dun, dun, dun. Disney whistling. All right, I'm pressing pause. I am at it just says Walt Disney Animation Studios with Steamboat Mickey. It's completely spelled out. That's where I'm at. If we're all together or close enough. I'm going to hit play again in 3, 2. I'm so excited.
It's so incredible to think that Walt started Disney Animation 100 years ago today. To think of all those talented artists and wonderful characters who have been a part of the studio over the
This looks really beautiful. But it seems a little cheesy the way they're talking. Not as natural, but I like the message. Again, I'm going to drop a little bit of words every 60 seconds or so, just so we don't get dinged and kicked off the internet. Wouldn't it be so cool to work there? Like as an animator? Oh, I love it. This is awesome. So good. If you're just joining us, we're watching Once Upon a Studio on Disney Plus, the new short. Pinocchio just stuck his head out of the wall. That's where I'm at. I totally get it if you don't want to watch this, but if you have access to Disney Plus, you should pause this and come back and watch this later. Just come back in 10 minutes when this is over. Oh, this is so awesome. Characters jumping out of the artwork on the walls. Like good 2D, hand-drawn, and the computer-generated animation.
Do you think all the villains will show up? Not all.
This is awesome. That's Up Iworks on the right. Oh, I gotta watch this with Lauren later.
The lake won't make a difference. It's all in the wrist. I haven't seen a fall like that since Rome. Much better. Every guy here loved to be messed up.
Oh, man, isn't it crazy how many iconic characters Disney's had? Even if you're not a Disney fan, which I'm sure everyone watching pretty much is. Oh, this is awesome. The puppy's watching. You're gonna have nightmares.
Thank you for holding.
Ha! The sloth and Donald Duck is so good.
I am also going to the lobby.
Oh, Baymax. Who else is over there on that wall?
Oh, no.
This is great. Prince Charming lost his shoe. So good.
Don't worry, Mickey. I got this.
I love this. Oh.
Gotta go. But thanks. On with the show.
A very special moment with Mickey and Walt there.
Never better, Garfield. Oh, I'm so wrapped. I hate this.
Hey, Mr. Toad.
Oh, wait, the ladder. I don't recollect if I've ever met you no reliable before. He'd say, Pink and pink. Make it move.
This is great. Kudos to whoever wrote this and the team behind it on how to incorporate all the different characters too into this short. So good.
Thank you. Oh, be careful. All right, now where's it? 1, 2, 3.
Who would put Goofy in charge of the picture? Oh,
Well, that was
Stitch.
fun. Maybe we can try again.
Grumpy and Eeyore next to each other. What a pair.
Come back. It'll be fine. It'll be.
Oh, jeez. This is very sweet.
If your heart is in your dream.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gotta turn the fan off. Oh, wow. What a collaboration.
Steps in. Sees you
Wow. Got chills everywhere. That's very, very awesome. To all who have imagined with us, laughed with us, and dreamed with us, thank you. Oh, so good. Oh my gosh, I am chills everywhere. Oh. My legs look like chicken skin. Oh man. Very, very sweet. So it's about, the short is 8 minutes long about, and then there's credits, which will we don't have to watch now. I'll go watch it again with Lauren later and really let the emotions go. I didn't want to cry on camera. That was very, very sweet. Very, very awesome.
Everyone getting queued up.
Oh, I gotta get this. No, I don't want to hear my voice. That's awful. Great job. That was as good as it gets. And that's what I was talking about earlier too, is that like Disney, I feel like is making the turn, right? Like we went through a little bit of a time, and you know, and again, I'm Mr. Optimistic, and but I feel like it's the Disney company, like, you know, picture like a cruise ship. You can't just make a hard turn. And I feel like the company can't make this hard turn and start doing everything perfect and right all the time. But when I was talking about like the attention to detail and the small little details that I'm starting to see in the parks that I think were easier and quicker, you know, fixes. Like even the signs at the TTC, right? The Transportation and Ticket Center. The sign to get to the monorail and the ferry boat have always been like a little outdated, but also just like dirty, not really taken care of. It looked very like they installed these 40 years ago and never did anything to them, kind of thing. But like even when they fixed those up and put them in, like now the monorail sign has a little monorail on top and it has like the blue lights underneath because they just installed the blue lights underneath for the 50th, which again, how they haven't had that before that is crazy. But those little details, right? Those, it's not hard to put a blue light underneath the monorail on the sign. It's $20 to buy the light. You have to hire an electrician, so let's say you have to pay him, even if he took him a full day, you know, you pay him like $400 or $500, you know, in time. You're talking about a project that might have cost them on the high end, and like you have to have a supervisor and someone sign off on everything else. Maybe, you know, in the real world, probably $1,000, in Disney dollars, probably like $5,000. Just to do that silly little light. But that silly little light is the attention to detail that makes us love Disney, in my opinion. And again, most people walk underneath it not even know it. Some people who even love Disney be like, I don't care about the light underneath. Give me another hidden Mickey somewhere or fix this little problem. And I agree with you. But the fact that they're thinking about things like that, the fact that that thought process is still in the building or has come back or is being appreciated again, I'm very excited about, because that little light project wasn't something that had to be pitched 10 years ago, right? It might have, to be honest, it's so insane at the Disney company, but it might have had been pitched 2 years ago and finally gotten done to install a light bulb, right? But the fact that it's coming back up and it's being appreciated, like, all right, you got the green light on that, go do it. All right, you want to go do that? You want to fix up these signs? Yeah, you're right, we should do that too. Let's go. So they're doing these, the fact that they're allowing this love back and this thought process, I am excited about. Let me go back in the live chat and see what I missed while we were watching that short. Thanks to everybody who was patient with us, who couldn't watch it. Thanks to everybody who did watch along. It was very, very sweet. If you haven't had the opportunity to see it, you definitely should go watch the new short, Once Upon a Studio on Disney Plus. It's so good, especially if you're a Disney fan. It'll hit you all in the feels. And like I said, I was talking over it so one, we wouldn't get kicked off YouTube or get dinged, but two, so I wouldn't get too emotional. If I just talk and ramble, I wouldn't get sucked in to weeping on camera. So let's see what we got. It is I've been very excited. I'm going to see Lynette and Bill on Wednesday. Can't wait to see them. Again, if you put in your Carney crew meetup when you'll be here, Rosita will be here this week. I got her schedule. She's made a few changes, so I got to update it as well. But I love seeing people. Also, I know Mike and Jess are over at the Fort this week. I want to go see them. We'll be doing a lot of streams from Fort Wilderness coming up soon. If you haven't been there or seen it, it's awesome. I'll show you the Tri-Circle D barn. We'll go see the new, not the new, but some of the movement that's been happening on the Reflections area and lawn over there. Of course, the biggest attraction for Fort Wilderness is that it's Halloween season and the madness has already begun. Just sent me a video. It looks insane. I am so excited. It's my favorite time of the year. And also Fort Wilderness does remind me, as best it can, even though it's hot, of like we used to go upstate during the fall and autumn in New York. And, you know, those campgrounds and that kind of vibe. People, you know, in Fort Wilderness, they're in golf carts, and you can just walk up to anybody or any camper and say hi, and they'll give you some candy or say you want a drink, or just talk about where you're from and how many years they've been coming to Disney. It's like, it's just a big family over there, and it's really special. Hi, Glenn Ritchie in the house. David Long says, I'm in sync with you. I like it. Rosita, good to hear that mom is good. Say hi to mom for me. Glenn, we are drinking wine. Just a nice zin here. Left over from the weekend. I was like, you know what? Better than nothing. Mm-hmm. It was so good. I agree, Pete. So good. The Ghost of Ward Kimball. Oh, that is very cool. Treasure Planet got a cameo. I was muted. Am I unmuted? Am I back? What's going on with this muted stuff? Yeah, I loved the little Elsa nod. Donald was great too, especially with the sloth from Zootopia. That was fantastic. We did get 2 Robin Williams characters in one shot. You know, I was just watching another thing. I know I'm the tangent guy, but I think it's pretty well documented that Robin Williams, one, not only changed the voices of animation in movies, showing that you could have a star who could do this, and how they kind of would build characters or movies even around certain people signing on. And Robin Williams was so talented. I'm a huge Robin Williams fan. And anyway, when he signed on to do Genie, he had already been working on another. He was working on Fern Gully. He was in Fern Gully too. Well, he wasn't in Fern Gully too. He might have been, but he was in Fern Gully. But he was working on that, and he didn't want this conflict. And he had another film coming out that he didn't want to conflict with that. So he said he would do the voice of Genie as long as they didn't use his voice or image for marketing to sell things. He goes, I don't want to be the person who makes you buy something. I want to be the person who brings you joy and you have a good time at the movie. Plus, I don't want my stuff in marketing because I'll be marketing 2 other movies almost simultaneously, and I committed to them first, and it's the right thing to do. And I don't think he realized, I honestly, I think he thought that Fern Gully was going to be the big hit, or his other movie that was coming out, I forget which one it was at the time, and that Aladdin wasn't going to be as big as it was. However, Aladdin was the huge hit, not only surpassing both of those other movies, but like 100xing, 20xing what they made. But apparently the reason he stopped working with Disney was he explicitly said, don't use my stuff in marketing and advertising. And at first they didn't. And then apparently, I think it was Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was running the studio back then, just said like Robin violated a term of the deal so that they could. And then he, like, the Genie and his voice and his image were all over all the marketing, Happy Meals, everywhere you looked. And Robin was very upset, asked them to stop. They said no, and they actually, Jeffrey Katzenberg was a very, right now I think he currently runs DreamWorks, if I'm not mistaken. He's the CEO over there, but he's a very talented but ruthless, I think is a term that's not too derogatory, person who runs a studio, and basically didn't care the deal they had. What was really nice is years later when Katzenberg moved on and somebody else came in, they wrote Robin a very nice letter saying, we're very sorry we didn't keep up to our terms of the deal. We are doing another thing involving the Genie. If you could see it in your heart to forgive us, we would love to have you do it. And he did agree after the apology. Robin Williams also, when he won the Academy Award, took a shot at Jeffrey Katzenberg secretly. Didn't want to ruin his whole career in Hollywood. But there's a little fun fact. It's what we do here. Yeah, so, I can definitely see where the crying starts multiple times during that short. I'm with you, Dawn. Yeah, the Feed the Birds. Yeah, the whole Disney Cinematic Universe right there, so good. The Make It Blue, yeah. Toad on the Carpet feels very correct. I totally agree. I just think it was so well thought out and well done. They really put the Disney characters in right places throughout that short. It was very nice. Sorry again for those who weren't watching along, but you can go back and watch it and go doing it there. I saw Felix in there. That was great too. Yeah, Jodie Benson, Jaywar says a bunch of them came back, like Jodie Benson, who came back to be a part in this, plus a lot of the animators. That's so cool. Ryan Pallow, wow, yeah, so great. There are a lot of credits, but what an amazing short. I think I don't really have to go look back. It's got to be the best short ever made for me. Like, a lot of them are great. I love a lot of the little Pixar shorts before the movies, but I don't know if anything will hit you in all the feels as quickly as that short does. They really get you in quick, give you like the holy cow moment, and just leaves you feeling so happy and optimistic and just shaking your head with amazement of how far the Walt Disney Studios have really come. Really, I mean, if you think about it, only 100 years ago, a broke guy from Marceline and his brother, and then eventually Up Iworks, and it goes on from there. But just, yeah, scraping together money, risking it all time and time again. The whole company on the line so many times. It's, you know, it's very funny. I don't know if anyone's ever made this comparison, but I watch a lot of these different things. That's why I know these random fun facts that you really can't use anywhere but maybe right here. But I've watched documentaries about Mr. Beast and how he's come up. And if you don't know who that is, he's the biggest YouTuber there is. And since I'm on YouTube, I found this interesting. I also never really watched Mr. Beast at all until the last maybe 3 or 4 months. But I took this interest in him because, you know what, there is something to learn. Granted, he does a very different style video than we do, but he has the most subscribers. He's the most watched. He's the #1 YouTuber, I think, on the planet, if not in the top 3. But maybe the only one that's not owned by a company. Other ones are companies. Anyway, Walt Disney, throughout his career, and you could read this almost anywhere, had his company basically, like I said, on the line, but at the brink of, if this is not a success, we will lose everything. We will have to make major cutbacks, or we will lose the studio, or we won't be able to pay our rent, or we won't be able to create the next character. I mean, so many jumps in his life, going from a guy, like I said, with just a few bucks in his pocket, to even having a studio, to having employees, to having the rights to a certain movie, and then risking it all on certain technologies with sound and animation, making a full-length animated film. Well, that wasn't even, that was, will this be a success? It was mind-blowing. It has never been done before. And and look how much success he's had because of that. I mean, and it takes, you know, for lack of a better words, cojones. It takes, I don't like that anymore because you can be, you know, I know some much stronger women than men, but it just takes guts, right? And look at the success he's had. And I'm sure there's other stories out there that sadly didn't turn out the same way, but I'm now watching all this Mr. Beast stuff thinking like he's become the biggest YouTuber in, you know, a very short amount of time because he just started risking it all. Like if he got a $10,000 brand deal, his very first brand deal, he spent the full $10,000 on the next video. Then he got another brand deal, he spent all that on the next video. And now he's doing the same thing where he is spending $1 million per video or more. Like he spends $1 million per video. Granted, he has more in the bank, and he was offered, if you don't know about Mr. Beast, he was offered $1 billion for his channel, and he said no. He's like, it's worth more than that, and turned it down. But he's just someone who, again, I love the risk there. I love the charitable aspect. Disney was big on that too, and big on the environment. You could see that when he was doing the Disney Nature, and how, even when he bought the land here in Orlando, when he said, listen, with all this land, I want a promise made that 1/3 will always be used for either conservation or untouched, or don't just make it. I don't want this to turn into another Anaheim situation. And Mr. Beast, the same thing, like where he has a whole channel based on charity, which I don't even know about, and how much money he gives away, and how he's given away millions of dollars. And every day he still runs food pantries daily. He is helping people all around the world in Africa with water and schoolhouses and orphanages and people in parts of Asia, literally all over Europe, parts all over the world, and our country, right in his own neighborhood. And during the pandemic, and how part of the Planting a Million Trees initiative. I love the parallels because I like when good people have success and also get rewarded for that hard work and like I said, those guts. Disney back against the wall 1 million times. I'm sure Mr. Beast the same thing. Kind of a similar story, just again, now it's almost 100 years later. So I mean, I'm not saying Mr. Beast is Walt Disney by any means at all. But I mean, you talk about people at the top of their game, and then what I'm talking about, this whole thing is, 100 years later, look how big the Walt Disney Company is. I mean, is there a person on the planet Earth that doesn't know a single Disney character? I mean, I'm sure there's a few, but they got to be, they've seen a picture of Mickey Mouse. They know who Mickey Mouse, they know the name Disney at least. They might think, I know it's sad that some people I think some generations behind me don't know that Walt Disney was an actual real person, that it's just a name, like Disney's just like the name of a company. But yeah, I just talk about it. What 100 years later, and look how crazy it is, right? Like, look how crazy. It's wild. And I know some parts of it are sad. I don't want to go down that road too much, but like we all, that short elicits so much emotion and and critical moments, I'm sure, in our lives, and just the musical cues, the visual cues, and it's amazing like how much, you could say even good or fantastic memories or parts of our lives that Disney is. And I'm sure like members of his family and his descendants would love that short too. And it's sad because some of them, are fighting to bring more of what Walt Disney would have wanted back into the company, where to give living wages to cast members so that they can stay in the parks and work here. That it doesn't just have to be a part-time job or a retirement gig, like that you can have a living wage where you can have a home and you can pay your bills. And, if you want to have children and a family and have a car, you can't, it's almost impossible if you had two people who working at Disney, and let's say, obviously if they're higher up, it's a different story, but let's say they've been with the company both 5 years each. That's still not enough time to like go start a family. Let's say they even met at Disney in the college program and they were 22. Two people who've been at Disney and they stayed there, now they're both 27, they're thinking about getting married and starting a life and a family. They're probably, unless they've made some major moves in the company, it's hard to have a real living wage. And again, I'm sure they could live, but to like go on vacations and have, a decent home and cars. This is why I always say you got to be so good to your cast members. They just underappreciated, underpaid. And I think that's what Abigail Disney, especially, is fighting for right now in the Disney company, is that back in the day when Disney first started Disneyland, his employees were at least taken care of enough where they could have families and lives and homes. And now it's especially if you're an entry level employee at Disney, you're living right. You got to make sure you're going where every nickel and dime goes in your life, and that's sad. And it's not right, because these are the people who are creating magic, who are letting us escape from our everyday mayhem and crisis and chaos, and they have to leave all of their chaos, and they might not know how to, if they have enough gas in the tank to get home from work, but they're putting on a smiling face. They're making sure we have the most magical experience that we can, because they know we're spending tons of money. And I'm sure, how do you not get upset too when you're making, after taxes, you're making around just above $10 an hour after taxes are taken out. And also you got to get to the park super early and then park far away or take a shuttle or a bus or something to go clock in. So your first half hour you're there, you're not even on the clock. I can go on this whole rant forever. And this is not obviously every single cast member's story, but I know of a lot personally, and there's more that I'm sure that I even know about that, like I said, might not know how, if there's enough gas in the car. I know of people who have to Uber to work because they can't fix they can't repair their cars. I know people who might have to skip a meal, or and meanwhile they've got how much food they're being watched thrown away right in front of their faces, and these are the people who are creating the magic for us. So I don't know if I could say anything. I just encourage all of you to make sure you're just remembering that when dealing with all these cast members. And sorry about that tangent. I just I don't know where it comes from. Just the brain's going. Jason says, I'm here for all of you, even Pete. Yeah, Spike the Bee was in there. JWR, a ton of people who worked on this. Yeah, I love it. And obviously you could tell that took a village. But I like that it came together the way it did. Let's read some more chat real quick here. Loved it. Yeah, it was so good. Disney magic. Real cute. Now, I got to go watch it a dozen more times for the secret stuff, too. I can't wait to watch with Lauren. She's going to cry. Can't wait. Bill, that was awesome. Magical. Yeah, it was so good. Really, really great. Dawn says, apparently the older gentleman at the beginning of the video is Bernie Manison, who worked for the studio for 70 years. That's so awesome. Can you imagine? Wow. It's kind of crazy to think that like Disney, by Disney I mean Walt Disney, never even got to see the opening of Walt Disney World. And Roy only got to see the opening of the Magic Kingdom, and then, for 3 months, and when I was still opening attractions little by little. Disney World opened October 1st, 1971, and then things were slowly opened after that. That was the day they just had that open, but like I mentioned last week in one of the videos that even like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea opened 12 days into the kingdom, and other things gradually opened. Hotels, we're still laying sod down the morning of the opening. And sadly, Roy Disney passed, I think in December. So he got October, November, and so 2.5 months of seeing Walt Disney World operate. and actually changing the name because it was just Disney World, and then he made it Walt Disney World when his brother passed in '66. So his brother died 5 years basically before the parks even opened. So here you have this guy, Bernie Mattinson. I shouldn't just say this guy, obviously a Disney legend, but he actually has gotten to see a lot of this history. It's got to be super emotional for him every once in a while when he just sits back. I'm sure some things have been very frustrating, but some things where it's like, wow, the fact that 70 years ago there was just California. Now that you have Disney, all of Disney World, it has over 30 resorts just here on property, 6 theme parks in Disney Springs. You have France and Shanghai and Hong Kong and Tokyo. And of course, the evolution of California. For him to see all that, and then of course, all the other aspects of the company, to watch them, ABC television, going from, Disney begging to be on ABC television to eventually Disney owning ABC television when he used to do his programs to promote his projects and whatnot. It's crazy, and then, ESPN sports on television, that was just nuts. And now everything that Disney owns, like Disney has their hand in so many things, but even if it's just for him, maybe just the movies and the theme parks, I feel like that's, for me at least, a lot of the magic. Everything else Disney does, fantastic. It helps the magic. It helps, but I feel like the magic for us is when we sit in that theater or we sit at home and we get transported, whether it's in a movie or some of the new shows on Disney Plus, but also when you walk around the theme parks and that magic comes to life. For him, for Bernie Mattinson, to be alive, to not even be alive, but to work for the company for 70 years, like that's gotta be so remarkable. And especially because of how much has happened just technology-wise. I wanted to read you Disney's predictions. I don't know if I'll have time because I do have some appointments today, but I think we're going to pick up this conversation next week. I'll try not to do it on the stream because this is it deserves 2 weeks of talking about. And I do have a lot of things that I had written down that I want to talk about, but I'm sadly on a very tight schedule today. But man, that's unbelievable. Oh, sad. He passed since it was filmed. But what a life. Good for him. It's so sad, but yeah. Hi, Tyler. Great to see you. Uh-oh. I got to make sure I'm wrapping this up soon because also my phone is going to die and I left the charger in the other room. But before wasting any more time, I do have to go shortly. But I'll leave my pen on the ground. Let me just see. Jason, I'll try to find other ways for you to watch it. We'll put it in the Discord. Yeah, Don, I'm all about treating the CMs well. And, if there's any time to overcompensate or over-tip or give a big gratuity, do it to your cast members, man. They're making the magic happen no matter what drama is going on in their life, and we all have our own stories. They put on a happy face every day. And you can imagine what goes on behind the scenes at Disney, too, It's like any other job. So thanks again for watching another Mix It Up Monday. I'm going to do a special thing for the Patreons. I don't know if I have time right now to do it right after this, but just check your Patreon today. I'll also throw it in the Discord and on the Patreon channel with enough notice where you can come hang out with me and we'll do a special live stream just for all the Patreons. If you're interested in joining, patreon.com/Adventures by Carney. Thank you for being Patreons. Thanks to everybody who supports, whether you're a Patreon or not. I know it's not for everybody and times are tough right now. It's a crazy world. So honestly, just by liking this video, if you could like it, it would mean a lot. Subscribing means the world to me. I totally and highly recommend hitting that bell and make sure you hit all notifications so you don't miss anything. I would love to have you around. And, we spread a little Disney magic, spread a little positivity, a little bit of love. Again, everything I talked about, most of the stuff is linked down below, whether it's the Discord, which is fantastic, the Patreon, my socials, again, at Official Carney on Instagram, at your WDW guy on Twitter, Adventures by Carney is the TikTok. I hope you have an amazing week. We're going to be live a bunch this week. We're going to be doing some fun things, dropping some videos, dropping some shorts, so make sure you're checking them all out. I wish you nothing but fun, happiness, and productivity this week. And go share a little love. Go share that Buddha quote with somebody, and or any of the little things we talked about. Go have some fun out there. I love you all. One day, too, this building will be painted. I promise. Thank you so much for watching. I I really appreciate you. We're making a little bit of magic here too, right? This is kind of crazy that people are even here watching on a Monday. So thank you for everything. Thanks for putting a smile on my face on this Monday. And I hope we can spread this happiness to everybody. All right. You take care of yourselves now, all right? We'll see you real soon. Marie, the baguettes, hurry up. See you later. Hit the like button. Thanks for sticking